everyone, good morning and welcome to another episode of Bio. We'll discuss today skeletal connective tissue or supportive connective tissue. It is a connective tissue in which matrix is rigid and the living cells occur in fluid-filled spaces called lacunae. Skeletal tissue provides support and protection. It forms endoskeleton. Skeletal tissue is of two types, that is cartilage and bone. First, we will discuss about cartilage. They are non-porous tissues in which the cells called the chondroblasts are embedded in the matrix in the group of even numbers like 2, 4 or more, with spaces filled with fluid called lacunae or lacuna. A fibrous perichondrium membrane covers the cartilage. It is a firm tissue but is softer and much more flexible than bone. Cartilage is found in many areas of the body, including joints between bones, that is, the elbows, knees, ankles, ends of the ribs, between the vertebrae, in the spine, ears and nose, and bronchial tubes or airways. Now, functions of cartilage are: number one, support. Cartilage provides support and flexibility to various body parts. Because of its flexibility, pinna can be folded without breaking. Friction, it prevents frictional wear and tear of bone tips by forming their articular surfaces. Cushions, invertebral discs of cartilage function as cushion against stresses. Any surface of a skeletal formation, bone or cartilage, that makes normal direct contact with another skeletal structure is called what? Articular surfaces or articular structure. Another tissue which we are going to discuss is bone. It is a solid, rigid, strong and non-flexible skeletal tissue which consists of a solid matrix with fluid-filled lacunae having osteocytes or bone cells. Osteocytes means the bone cells are called osteocytes. Bone is the hardest tissue of the body. Unlike cartilage, blood vessels and nerve pass into the interior of bone. I want to tell you children that osteocytes are the bone cells which are present in concentric rings, and those concentric rings are called what? Lamellae, with spaces filled with fluid called lacunae. The bone cells connect with each other with the help of fine canals called canaliculi. And these canaliculi are the projections formed from lacuna. What are the lacuna? They are the fluid-filled spaces. Like cartilage, there is a membrane that covers the bone is called periosteum. The matrix of bones is filled with carbonates and phosphates of calcium and magnesium. Matrix of bone contains collagenous protein which is called osine, which makes 30 to 40% of its part, and the mineral matter is present 60 to 70%. Location. A large number of bones occur in the body. They are joined together to form endoskeleton of animal body. Functions of bone. First function is framework. The bony endoskeleton form the supportive framework of the body. Number 2, protection. It provides protection to vital organs like brain, heart, lungs, etc. Number 3, muscles. Bones provide surface for attachment of any muscle. For the attachment of any muscles, bones provide what? Surface. Movement. Bones form various types of joints which take part in body movements including locomotion. Blood cells. They are formed in red bone marrow of the bones. What is bone marrow? The long bones like hands and legs, their cavity has a spongy tissue which is called what? Bone marrow. So the long bones of bone marrow helpful in the formation of blood cells. Reservoir of minerals. Bone is a reservoir of calcium, phosphorus and other minerals. The bones make up 15% of body mass. Fluid connective tissue or vascular tissue. It is a special type of connective tissue which differ from connective tissue in following characters. Number 1, the matrix is fluid and fiber free. The matrix is not secreted by the cells. Number 3, the cells have no power of division. It circulates in the body and is responsible for the transportation of materials from one place to another within the body. It also plays an important role in defense mechanism of the body. Types of vascular tissue. Fluid connective tissue or vascular tissue are of two types, that is blood, lymph. So we'll discuss about first blood. Physical characters of blood. The blood is red colored vascular tissue. It is opaque, somewhat sticky and viscous fluid. Viscosity is 4.7. Human blood is 5 times more viscous than distilled water. It is slightly heavier than water. It is slightly alkaline in nature. Average pH value is 7.4. The oxygenated blood is bright red, while deoxygenated blood is purple colored. Blood consists of an aqueous mixture of substances in blood plasma, in which there are suspended different types of free floating cells called the blood cells. Or blood plasma is pale straw colored liquid matrix that forms 55% of the total volume of blood. If there is 6 liters of blood, around 3 to 3.2 liters of will be blood plasma containing soluble proteins like albumins to control osmotic pressure, globulins act as antibodies, fibrinogen for clotting blood, glucose, amino acids, fats, lipids, vitamins, enzymes, hormones and waste like urea and uric acid. Blood plasma is a pale straw colored fluid matrix or medium which constitute about 60% part of the blood. Blood plasma consists of about 95% of water and 5% mixture of different types of molecules. Functions of plasma, or we can say blood plasma helps in number 1, transport, number 2, retention of fluid in blood, number 3, maintenance of blood pH, number 4, body immunity, number 5, prevention of blood loss, number 6, conducting heat to skin for dissipation, and number 7 is uniform distribution of heat all over the body. Now we will discuss about the three types of blood corpuscles or the blood cells which are floating in blood plasma, that is RBC, which is also called erythrocytes, white blood cells called the leukocytes, and the blood platelets are called thrombocytes. Types of blood corpuscles. Number 1, RBCs or erythrocytes. In all vertebrates except mammals, the erythrocytes are oval, biconvex and nucleated. In mammals, the mature erythrocytes are circular, biconcave and without nucleus. A human RBC is about 7.8 micrometer in diameter. Normal RBC count in an adult human male is 5 to 5.5 million per cubic millimeter of blood, while it is 4.5 to 5 million per cubic millimeter of blood in a normal adult woman. An RBC appears yellow when seen slightly but appear red when in bulk due to presence of colloidal solution of an iron containing pigment called hemoglobin in their cytoplasm. The mature mammalian RBC is also characterized by absence of nucleus, mitochondria and endoplasmic reticulum. So there is a low consumption of oxygen by itself and is primarily concerned with the transport of oxygen from the respiratory organs to the body tissues. Average lifespan of human RBC is 115 to 120 days. White blood cells or leukocytes are rounded or amoeboid, nucleated, non-pigmented cells. These are wandering cells and are capable of coming out of blood capillaries by amoeboid called diapedesis. WBC are larger than RBCs in size. These are much less in number than RBCs. Average WBC count is 7,000 per cubic millimeter of blood. The formation of leukocytes occurs in bone marrow, lymph nodes, thymus and spleen, etc. WBC play an important role in the body's defense mechanism. On the basis of cytoplasmic granules, the leukocytes are divided into two categories: granulocytes, which have irregular shaped nuclei, and cytoplasmic granules with specific staining properties. They include neutrophils, basophils, and eosinophils. Agranulocytes have no cytoplasmic granules and includes monocytes and lymphocytes. Neutrophils engulf and digest disease-causing pathogens. Eosinophils show allergic response. Basophils release histamine and heparin. Monocytes engulf bacteria and cellular debris at injured site, and lymphocytes secrete antibodies to destroy microbes and also help in healing of injury. Last but not the least are platelets or thrombocytes. They are minute, disc-shaped fragments in mammalian blood. Platelets are formed as fragments of larger cells which are called the megakaryocytes, found in red bone marrow. They have no nucleus. They play an important role in blood clotting. Lymph is a white vascular connective tissue. It is translucent alkaline fluid present in the lymph vessels and between the blood capillaries and the tissues. It is also forms the tissue fluid which surrounds the body tissue. Lymph is formed of two parts, that is plasma, which is similar to that of the blood except that it has less protein, calcium and phosphorus. It is actually derived from the body by the process of ultrafiltration. Lymphocytes are floating amoeboid cells of lymph. These also resemble with leukocytes of blood. These also move from the blood by diapedesis. Now, functions of blood: blood transport nutrients, hormone, vitamins, excretory products and other substances. Oxygen is carried from the respiratory organs to the tissue and carbon dioxide from the tissues to the respiratory organs by blood. Blood maintains water balance in the body. Blood helps to regulate the pH of the body. Blood platelets help in blood clotting. Blood maintains the body temperature to a constant level after distributing heat within the body. Very important function of lymph is that the lymph acts as a middleman between blood and the tissue cells, as it passes on food and oxygen from blood to tissue cells and hand over excretory waste, hormones and carbon dioxide from the body cells to blood. It also keeps the tissue moist. It also transports food, fat from the intestine to the venous blood. That's all for today's video. Have a nice day and thank you.